Welcome back to the studio here in beautiful sunny Northumberland. Today I'm actually going to do a picture which is near Selby, which is where my sister lives, so that's why I was down there. And this is the painting, this is the photograph that I took from the car, and I took 2 or 3 paintings of it, 2 or 3 photographs of it. This is the main one in the landscape, if you like, but over here I've got a couple of closer up visions which I've just
views
that's what I meant, which I've blue tacked to the wall so I can have a close up look here and there. But this is the main overall thing. But I'm going to do a couple of changes. I'm not going to put these in because they take over a little bit. I'll put the others in. I shall change the shape of the roof, the colour of the roof slightly, and well, more than slightly, I'm going to do it red. And it has been decided, not by me, it has to be said, it has been decided that it's going to be in autumnal colours. She who shall be obeyed has determined that's what it will be. Isn't it, Gail?
It is, quite.
Right, on with the drawing. Bit of reading glasses to start with. And I'm just going to start off with the chimney here. Just off centre. There. And it's the usual pencil, and there's quite a bit of drawing in this one, as you can tell. And I make no apologies for the fact that this is going to take quite a while of drawing, but I'd hate for you to miss anything, so it's better that you see all of the drawing. There. Chimney. This bit of roof comes down, and that's ordinarily where the roof would finish, but then at a slightly steeper angle there, it's almost like a lean-to, an extension on the back of the building. And this is an old farmhouse, as you can tell. And I was amazed when I'd taken the photographs. I then drove past it. I was amazed to see that it's actually abandoned. There's no one in it. So if anyone wants to buy a farmhouse near Selby, I'm quite sure someone will be pleased. Slight angle there, coming downwards ever so slightly. And it's a long roof, this one. And this pencil is a different one. It's screw fix. It's not like here. Amazing. I must have pushed the boat out at some point.
You haven't been doing any DIY.
I don't do DIY.
I know. Thank God.
You got me caught. What do you mean, thank God?
I value my safety.
Honestly, the thought of DIY. You brought me out in a sweat, Gail. Fan me! Fan me! And that's that one there. And a little bit of just on the end there. I've got a lean-to barn coming out here, and I shall bring this roof line up ever so slightly there. There, like so. And of course, as ever, I'm pressing on harder with the pencil so that you can actually see the outline. Needless to say, there will be someone that says, I can't see that. Well, that's new glasses. Bit there. Bit down here. And I've got 3 little, like, what do I mean?
What do you mean?
Bits that go in.
Dormer windows? No.
No, it's a barn. So one.
Doors?
Probably does.
Windows.
Could be does. No. You know, those bits where you park things inside. It's a barn type thing.
Okay.
There.
Okay, I don't know what they're called.
Those bits anyway. And I don't need any more for that. I'll do that with paint. Now here's a barn further back. And again, coming upwards ever so slightly there. There's the roof of the barn. And coming out there. And a bit more there. Now, there are more buildings here. There's one behind there. That's unnecessary clutter. I don't need it. Let's finish off this barn here. And that. And then see through inside the barn. And one there. And like I always say, if in doubt, stick a bush in. There's a bush. We've got a lot of trees in this one. And here I've got another bush there. And a gate there. And bushy bits coming down here. Now back to the building, the main house. There's the end of that wall. Don't want to give your arms a rest, Gav?
No, I'm alright for a bit longer. I just nearly dropped the phone.
Why, did I do something good?
No.
Oh, okay. There's a window there. And a smaller one there, and slightly lower. And a door there. And two big windows here. And we can just see the top of one there. And a smaller window. Well, it's narrower. And now we've got a lot of bushy bits. You can see quite a lot of stuff in front here. A lot of bushy bits down here. Bushy bits, technical term obviously. And a wall coming out from here. I'm going to paint over this because I've come too far down with those two lines. People say, oh, you always make it look so easy. You never make any mistakes. I make lots of mistakes. But I've got them covered up there very quickly. Leave a gap there. And more bushy bits. And across here. There's quite a lot of growth going on the side of this building, but I shall just do that with the paintbrush. When I say growth, ivy or whatever. There's a hedgerow, not a hedgerow, grass verge. And now a lot more bushy bits and pieces. So behind that, And behind here we've got a lot of trees. So I'm just going to kind of like block in where I shall put the foliage, which of course is going to be autumnal, isn't it, Gail?
I hope so. Otherwise,
Otherwise, I know, the dogs will get it.
the dogs will get you tea.
Some bits coming out here. And some taller trees here which won't have much foliage on. You can see those at the end there. I'm picking out the bits that are important, that I like, that will give a bit more mood and atmosphere to the picture. Don't start counting twigs, just stick a load in and boughs. And over here, got a lot more trees. Down here. And actually something that I forgot, I'm not going to put these telegraph posts in here because they'll take the eye too much away from the building. In my mind anyway. But I am going to put these in. I want one there. More or less straight. And a squiggly bit on the top. With a few more squiggly bits on there. Then I've got another one which is slightly shorter, about there. And then one shorter there. Now for the road, I'll just bring this a little bit further along here and extend those bushy bits there. And this, you can't see it, well there's a road sign there. This is a little road that goes down in front of it. So I shall end that grass there. And have a little slither of road there. The main road, which is not a big road, but it's got white lines. Don't want white lines. That's there. And I've got a big tree coming out here. As you can tell from that, this side is much brighter than that side. So the light's coming from the left. And that's why it's really nice to have that big tree in there. Because that will cast a nice shadow across the road. And actually you can see the shadows in there. And that big tree there. Was that a deep sigh, Gail?
It was.
Is your arm getting tired?
It is.
I'll stop any second now. Just give me another half an hour. And there's the road going off there. There. All I need to do now is tape off either side. There, I taped either side now. Time to slap the skywash on. And as usual, I'm using my big 1.5 inch wash brush here. Plenty of water. it's like someone said on YouTube feedback just a couple of days ago, actually, or was it today? The biggest tips I learned from you in watercolour was, and you said you can't put too much water on when you're doing the sky, and that's true. It gives you the time to move the paint around. Loads and loads of water. If you need 10 minutes for it to dry, that's fine. Give yourself the time to move the paint around while it's dry. There. And because Gail said it's got to be autumnal, I'm going to start off with a few bits of autumnal colours in the sky as well. Bit of yellow ochre there. Set the mood, set the tone straight away. And a little bit of light red. Bit of that. Bit of this, bit of that. Bit of light red. Light red's a lovely colour. And again, wash out, squeeze out and mop up. Get those big drips. Now, ultramarine blue and a touch of light red. There. Plenty of water. And leave a few bits of the undercolour showing through as well. Wash out, squeeze out. I'm just going to mop up again. Now starting to take some clouds out. A gusty autumnal sky. Gusty, is that what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Taking clouds out. Here. Mopping up again. See what I mean about plenty of water? It gives you time to play with it a little bit without getting watermarks or cauliflowers, as they're known in the trade. As I'm taking out paint there, look. I'll just drop a bit back in the bottom of those. I'm starting to get a little bit of cloud shadow. Wash out, squeeze out, mop up again. And now I'm just going to let that dry for about 5 minutes before we start with the rest. There. Now, the sky's nicely dried-ish. I just gave it 5 minutes. So now, straight in with the house, the building. The chimney needs a little bit of raw umber and burnt sienna together, like a red brick colour. Raw umber, burnt sienna. There. And it's fairly strong on this side. Not too strong. What's that? Now, a little bit there. Just more water into the same brush full of paint now. So I've made it weaker. For that side. See? And that side of the building, I'm just going to leave the paper white. But on this side, I'm going to put a tiny touch of blue in. Ultramarine blue, same blue as the sky. Fairly weak look, there. That's the shadowed side. Now, white in shadow have a blue tinge to it. Something like this, once you've done the drawing, the paintings are double. Because, I know I always say that, famous last words, but you know, it's just like painting by numbers without the numbers, because you've got all your lines in, you're just filling in your blocks stage by stage. So don't be overawed by a view like this. It's not difficult. Trust me, I'm an artist. Bit there. Bit more paint. And these brushes, the aquafine brushes that I'm using, They hold so much paint and water. And as you know by now, they're not expensive brushes. I mean, I've done that whole side of the house with just 2 dips. And had to weaken it as well. A little bit more blue with a touch of light red for in there. Now, a bit more water and soften that down. I said I would change the roof of the building because it's a bit cliched, but a white building with a red roof is just such a fabulous combination. And there I've got light red, and a touch of raw umber as well. Not raw umber, sorry, burnt sienna. And plenty of water and block running. Just blocking it. I shall give the impression of detail later on when it's dried. Not roof tiles, what are they? It's, what's the name of that roof? Wobbly. Come on, Gail.
I don't know. What do you mean?
Pan tile, that's it.
Oh.
You're a bit slow there, Gail.
I didn't think it looked like a pan tile roof. That's
Well,
why.
I'm telling you, it is.
Okay. If you say so.
I do. And I'm the artist. And I've got Gail's permission to say so.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah! A bit there. And it's easy enough to go around the posts, telegraph posts, whatever they are. I don't know much, do I?
Not a lot. Well, you can paint, so that's all right.
That's all I'm paid to do. Anyway, so that's all right. I do get paid, do
Lunch vouchers.
I? Better than nothing. Coming down there. Like I say, I'll do a few wobbly bits within the roof once it's dried, but that's the blocks of the main building in, without fiddling too much. There, like so. And I've got a little bit of that just coming down here. A thin line of it there. That'll do. Now into the windows of that. In the photograph, the windows are just, it's just one big window pane. It's a bit boring, so I'll just split those out. So I've got, again, ultramarine blue with a touch of light red, so it's more of a bluey grey. And what I'm doing, with the tip of my number 8 round brush again, we'll have a blob there. Leave a gap. Then another blob there. There. Window pane. Same here. But smaller. And again here. Leave a gap. There. On these, I'll have 4 on that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, and leaving a gap between each blob. Much easier way of doing it window pane than painting window frames. 2 in this one. And there. There. Isn't that simple? Forgot that one, girl. Have 2 there. And 2 there. Now here, I'm going to have a different coloured roof, because contentious. I'm going to have blue and light red. Just there. Again, past that telegraph post. Big blocks. And on the other side here. I mean, if I couldn't paint around something like those telegraph poles, it's not the end of the world, because afterwards, once it's dried, you just suck the paint out again and reveal more light. There. I'll just suck up those two blobs there. Three, sorry. And the roof on the barn behind, it's more or less the same colour, but I'm going to add more light red there. And again in there. They've got different colours going on. Again, around the telegraph pole. And that tucks in behind the main house. Notice that, diagonal strokes. I'm just leaving a little bit of the underpaper showing through. And a little bit of that there as well. Now, the actual fabric, the walls of this barn, again, she who shall be obeyed has just been telling me about it. This is red brick. So what I'm doing here is a little bit of raw umber and a touch of burnt sienna there. A bit more burnt sienna. There, nice red brick colour. A little bit of water into that, because this is quite a dark side there. And there. And down there. Does that make you feel better now, Gail?
Yes.
Thank you.
Finally.
Finally. Cool. Bit there. And a bumpy bottom there, because it's grass down there anyway. And a little bit of that wall there, in the same tone. Remember I did those pencil lines and I said I'll just paint over them. There you go, you see. Now I've got a wall in there. Now for the front part, these bits here, I'm just going to put more water into that brush again, so that they are lighter. There, look. There's one, two, and the light side of the wall there. For inside the building, I'm going to go in with that same colour, the ultramarine blue, the raw umber and burnt sienna, but I'm going to put a touch of ultramarine blue into it as well. There, so I've made it darker. For inside of there. And again, when I put the shadow on, a diagonal line inside on top of this will make it look like you're looking inside the building. Bit there, and across there, leaving a light top to the wall, and a bit there. At the minute, it doesn't look like much, but it will. He said, hopefully. And again, light top to the wall there. And a bit there. I'm going to soften that now. Now it's time for some shadow on these buildings. But I'm going to start off before the actual shadow, but it's part of it, if you know what I mean, with the bits of detail on the roof here. And what I've got is the old shadow mix that I always use. Bit of ultramarine blue, because that's the blue of my sky. Alizarin crimson. There we go. So we're getting a bit of a purple there. And now a touch of burnt sienna. There. What I'm doing, look, I'll have a few diagonal lines on the top there, just a few touches. Boom, boom, just like that. Now, a few tiny diagonal strips here and there coming down. Don't want them perfect, don't want them straight. They're wiggly a little bit and they're broken. I don't want too many of them either. And what really makes it stand out as a pantel roof is the way I do the shadow underneath it. In a minute. And you notice this is still what I was saying about brush holding, water, paint holding capabilities of the brushes. This is still the same dip that I started with when I did those. And it just carried on going. That. And a few less of them going away. But, like I said, they need to be diagonal, coming down with the shape of the roof. Easy peasy. Now, what I'm saying about the shape of the shadow underneath the roof, I'm going to dip in again now. Instead of just doing a dark shadow underneath the roof like I normally do from standard building, what I'm doing now is with my round brush, push the brush up, see? Push it up. And again here. All the way across from the base, pushing upwards with the tip of the brush. I've gone quiet, haven't I?
Very quiet.
That's because I'm concentrating.
Get your tongue out.
No, I haven't got my tongue out, thank you very much. Now, at the base of that, look, straight across. There, you see how that looks like a pantel roof now, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I'm clever, me, you know.
Unbelievable.
Thank you. There's a hint of sarcasm there. Now, in the windows, look, there. Remember the light's coming from the left. So at the top and down the left-hand side, we'll have a window-led shadow there. There's a little one there. And again there. In that window. Window-led shadow again. And down there. Oops. And again, a window-led shadow. The chimney, because the light's coming from here, will cast a shadow on the roof there. There. Now, to these, again, still the same colour. What I'm going to do, diagonal line there, Now, you see what I'm talking about? It looks like you're looking into that. Doesn't it, Gail?
It does.
Thank you.
Definitely.
Bit there and down there. And again there. And now where the roof meets those supports there. And also inside this barn here. Bit there. Bit down there. Again, it's diagonal. And across there. Easy peasy, isn't it?
Easy for you to say.
Indeed it is. Bit there, a little bit of shadow there. That is more or less the building's done. But actually I've just thought, I'm going to put more water into that shadow there, into the shadow colour, and I'll have a little bit there. Just because I can. And that is the building's done. As Gail just said, will we have a shadow down there? Well, we will now. Is that better, Gail?
That's much better. Thank you
you.
very much.
Now, it's bushy time and trees time. Now, all these bushy bits here, and as I've already been told, it's autumnal. So I'm starting off with yellow ochre, and I'm still using my number 8 round brush. Bit down here, some here. I'll leave those at that side for a while. And now some of that over here as well. Now, a little bit of burnt sienna, plenty of water into this. And just tapping. Well, one colour's wet, let the others run into it. And like always, when you're doing trees behind and around a building, it's those that make the building really pop out and stand out. Once you get the darker colours in. Again, a little bit more burnt sienna. Down there. And all of that yellow ochre is still a little bit wet. It's all softening into each other. And around my buildings. Can you see how already these start to make the building jump out? Doesn't it, Gil?
It does.
Almost
Pops out.
That's all right, that's it. I'll go mad. And again, just tapping. Now, even though it's autumnal, I still do want some hints of green here and there. So I've got a bit of hooker's green, and I'm sticking to the light red. Hooker's green and light red there, look. Bit more green. There. And a few bits of that. Just here and there. Don't want too much green, because it will take over if you're not careful. It's just a few hints. Again, around the telegraph post. A few bits down here. And you can see all those other colours are still damp, because you can see it spreading into them, softening in. Now, a few touches of blue. Just blue. And it always sounds odd. It even sounds odd to me, putting blue into trees. But all it's doing is giving more depth to any colour that you've put on. And again, to clean that brush, all I'm going to do is where I've put the blue in, just with a clean that brush, soften it a little bit. But it's not so much of a sharp edge. There. Now look how that part of the building really pops out at you. There. I'm carrying on to get this lot of trees done before I come back over here. And I'm changing to my rigger brush for a second. Ultramarine blue and burnt sienna will give you a black. There, straight away. But I don't want it too strong. I'm just going to put plenty of water into it. And with my rigger brush, look, I'm having a few twiggly bits of trees. Twiggly bits. That's actually a new word. Twiggly bits.
Twiggly.
Twiggly, yeah.
As in twigs.
Yeah. A new artist impression word, that one. A few bits there. And a few bits coming down here as well. The rigger brush is a very underestimated brush. It's very useful for lots of things, especially twigs and trees. It was actually invented for painting rigging on the tall ships. But for trees, when you want detail in them, you can't beat a rigger brush. There. And a few bits coming down here. You don't need to paint every single twig because obviously it's going to be in foliage, or a little bit of foliage, less than the others, but some foliage. You don't have to worry about filling it in. Of course, now what I'm going to do is go back to my round brush, and here look, I've got a mixture of yellow ochre and burnt sienna. Yellow ochre, burnt sienna. And all I'm doing, I don't want too much water on that brush, but I'm using the side of the round brush and just put on and drag down. Look. See how effective that is. Is that good, girl?
That's excellent.
Thank you. Oh, a couple of bits of that in there as well. Just with the side brush, put it on and drag it down. There. Now down here, I'll have some green bits. Like that. That little gate, what I'm going to do is just go around it, look. There, got a gate. A few more green bits there. Now some burnt sienna, just burnt sienna. When I say just, I mean with water, obviously. And because I've left the light on the top of there, that bush is now in front of that shed. There. And that's the side of bushes and bits on that side, more or less done. Bit of blue down there. There. And I'll leave that there. Now, coming down further this way now, and I've got, again, just like I did over here, starting off with yellow ochre, number 8 round brush again, yellow ochre, and pop some of that in here. There. Now, some light red, just like before. A few bits of that in there as well. Just dabbing on. And as I said earlier, just a few hints of green. Don't want to go mad with the green. Hooker's green and light red again. I shall use that to go around the building. Look there. And finally, a little bit of blue in there as well. Green blue again. Carefully around the building. You notice that I left the chimney pot just white paper. Sorry?
I did.
You did?
I did.
But you thought I'd better not criticise it. Bit of blue there. Because that now stands out amongst the dark colours around it. Softening again. And now I'm changing to my 3/4 inch brush now. That's the first time I've used the 3/4 inch in this one. It is. And I've got some bushes here that are green. I don't know what kind of evergreen that will be, but they are. So I'm going to start off with a little bit of yellow ochre, but not too much water in it, and I'm splitting my 3/4 inch brush like so. And now stick on there, look. Carefully up to the building at this stage. Because with the split brush, if I'm not careful, I'll go into the building. Now, Hooker's green and yellow ochre mixed. A little bit of Hooker's green and a lot of yellow ochre there. Split the brush again. And down here. And again, carefully up to the building with that. I've got weaker trees of that kind further back there, back to the round brush. Again, yellow ochre, but this time with a little bit of light red into it. And like I say, they are a little bit weaker. A bit more water into that. That's better. And again, a little bit of that green and yellow ochre mix. Touch of that. There. So now, those are further back than these. This lot here, these bushy bits, again, they are green. Don't know if you can see it on the photograph, but here we go. We have got starting to turn autumnal here, so yes, I've gone along with that theory and with Gale. But this lot are really dark green. And it's a nice contrast with everything else that's going on. So I am going to stick with that dark green. And I've got Hooker's green and burnt sienna. A lot of burnt sienna into that. More green. There we go. Now, with my round brush, I'm splitting the round brush, going in like so, And stipple on there, look. Coming up like that. A bit there. Keep the brush split. And now unsplit the brush. Does that make sense? I know what I mean. So it's more solid down here. There. And I'm just dabbing on really. And now a little bit of blue again. Just ultramarine blue. Some of that down here, so it's darkening it even more. And a bit down there. See what I mean? It's quite a nice contrast, that. For this lot here, I'm going back to my 3/4 inch brush. And again, yellow ochre. Do that there. Everything's getting a little bit darker now as well. I'll split the brush there for a second. Just from there, there. And again, a little bit of, this time burnt sienna rather than light red. Split the brush. Stipple. And a touch of green, pepper green and burnt sienna. Split the brush. And all these little bits of white that I'm leaving, that's extra light in your picture. There's nothing wrong with leaving the white of the paper shining through. There's no finer white than the white of the paper. There. Now, for this lot over here, bigger trees, and I'm going to have a few branches in there, not so much twigs, branches, and I'm going to go for nearly black again. Ultramarine blue and burnt sienna. Here you go. And my rigger brush. I say nearly black, I don't want it quite black. My rigger brush. And I just want a few boughs. And I'm you got to remember that it's going to be in full foliage again, so don't worry too much about the boughs. Twig the bits here, and a little bit there. And likewise with this one. And with a rigger brush, if you want a broader line, look, press on harder so the brush spreads. Then as I come up further, lift the brush off, so I'm getting a thinner line. Rigger brushes, they're fabulous things. And I don't want too many of those in there, just in the top bits really. There. Now, I'm going to have a little more green down here as well. I'm starting off first of all with yellow ochre again. Plenty of water there. And some yellow ochre here. A little bit stronger again, look. A bit there. And now, a little bit of, I've used light red over here for the ready bits. I'm going to use burnt sienna here. It's that much stronger. There. Bringing everything a little bit further forward. A little burnt sienna there. Dab that one. Now a little bit of green, Hooker's green and burnt sienna. There's my Hooker's green, and there's my burnt sienna. There we go. Nice dark rich green. This business with the Hooker's green, I can't tell you enough. I know I tell you all the time throughout videos, but I can't emphasize it enough. It is the best colour in your box. I mean, when I've used green, look at all the different greens I've got going out throughout this picture now. All with Hooker's green. You don't have to worry about mixing it. You're always going to have a nice clean green. Now, these bits here make that lot go further back. See? See that gap?
Yeah, I see it.
Good. Right answer. And coming down there. Bit more water into that same mix now. Oh, just a few touches in there. And then some blue. Nice and strong there. Popping it on, then softening it up. Clean that brush, tap on that. Like I say, this place is not far from Selby, about 6 miles from Selby. And my sister lives in a village just across the field from here. And this is the kind of area where I was born and brought up, really. And we do a painting holiday there now. The Owl at Hambleton. And it's a lovely painting holiday because I get to go to all the places that I know really well and paint them. So yeah. Have we got any spaces left on that one next year?
I think so, yes.
Many? 2, 3?
I don't know, 2 or 3.
Couple of places anyway left on next year's Selby holiday. Now, a little bit of that, much weaker. Pop that in there. That's a long way off now as it turns around the bend. Now just blue again. I'll throw that in there as well. Down to the grass verge there. And the turn in the road. And again, soften it. I'm going to leave that to dry for a second. In the meantime, I'm just going to finish off this line here with just some yellow oak to start with. Across here. That's a little bit of road, remember? All the way across there. And that kind of like ties everything down to the ground. Now, Hooker's green and yellow ochre mixed. Bit more yellow ochre. And that's going to go underneath it there. And there. With the 3/4 inch brush, that one. And underneath the yellow. Down to the road. There, that kind of like just finishes off that area. Ties everything down to the ground. leave that for a second because I want that to dry before I put the road in next. Now, I'm going to do the track, well, road, but I've made it into more of a country road. The road and that little bit that goes up there. I'm going to pop that in first so that then I can do the grasses either side, once I've done the tree, do the grasses either side without having to paint around the road. Now, starting off with sand, Charles Evans sand, a little bit of that. Charles Evans sand, got so many uses, that colour. Starting off with that, straight in there. It's good as a mixer. Put that into any colour you've got. It'll lighten any colour you've got without muddying it. It's good as a layering colour, which is what I'm using it for today. Put all the colours on top. Leave that shining through. Good for stonework. Flesh tone, you know how flesh tone is really difficult to mix in watercolours? Well, Charles Evans sand, touch of light red, and you've got flesh tone. Easy as that. Go there. Now, what I've got is blue and light red. Like that. And plenty of water into that. I'm just going across there. Look, very, very lightly, leaving bits of the sand showing through. There. And a little bit going up there. See what a nice colour that is to make a track, a road, whatever. Is that nice, girl?
That's lovely.
Thank you. And I'll leave that to dry before I do the grasses in there. But in the meantime, I can do that big tree. Starting off again with yellow ochre. Plenty of water. And I'm splitting the brush, the 3/4 inch brush. Split it and stipple. When I'm doing demos and stuff, people often say, what kind of tree is that? It's a big green one. Or a big yellow one in this case. I don't know trees. I just know the difference they make in the landscape. Bit of burnt sienna. And again, split that brush. A bit stronger than that. Now coming to green again, focus green and burnt sienna. There. Split the brush. Darkening that green a little bit more with a touch more burnt sienna into it. You see, a little bit darker there. Because that way it cuts in front of that. And again, a little bit of blue. Ultramarine blue. More water. And again, split the brush. There. Do I need some light bits in there, Greg, do you think? Bit of digital art.
Mm-hmm. Gorgeous.
Gorgeous. Whilst all this is merrily drying to itself, I'm going to do the telegraph post. So again, ultramarine blue, but this time with raw umber. So it's a nice dark, but it's a dark brown rather than black. So I've taken the care to paint around these. So now I want to make use of that light bit that I've got by just going down this side to the right hand side with a dark bit. Oops, that was a wobble, girl.
It's the red wine.
Not enough, I was going to say, not enough red wine. There. Going down into the tree with that. Yeah, into the tree, into the field. And I've got a couple of squiggly bits on it. And a couple of little bumpy bits on the top. Bumpy bits.
You need those.
You know what I mean.
You need the bubbly bits.
Yeah. Now, that. I can't get my hand in the way because there's a camera person there. You notice that? Camera person. You notice how PC I am?
Amazed.
Not as amazed as me. Another wobbly bit on top of that. Bum, 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 bum. And one more here. Now, let's finish this puppy off. Puppy? Oh, you're.
Hey, gangster.
A little bit of yellow ochre with a tiny hint of burnt sienna into it. I'm just coming in here like so. There we go. Down that. And just a few daubs here and there. Now, actually I'll take some more of that there. Yeah, that's better. Now, hooker's green and yellow ochre. There's my hooker's green. And a lot of yellow ochre. There. It's just a flat field around here. By the way, the land in this area, it's kind of like in the Vale of York. So there's a lot of flat land. But that's good for painting because, okay, you haven't got any hills to paint. But you can see for miles. The distance is incredible in the area. But there. Everywhere's got something good to paint. Everywhere. And people say, industrial scene, oh, it's mucky, it's whatever. Industrial scenes are fabulous to paint. So much grittiness. All that. And leaving bits of the yellow ochre showing through as well. Now I'm going to have some of that over here as well. But this time, over here, I'm going to put it in. I'm going to flick up, look, like so. Still with that same brush, 3/4 inch brush. Now, a little bit of hooker's green and yellow ochre again. And again, pop it on a bit stronger. Pop it on and flick up. You see what I mean about doing the road first? If I'd carried on with the grasses, then tried to paint the road, I would have lost all that. Now, all that's left to do with that is to put some shadow on the track and here and there. And so, in order for that to happen, I just need to give that a couple of minutes to dry so that my shadow doesn't run all over the place. Now, everything's dried, more or less. It's not going to run anyway. So it's time for the final shadows. Again, ultramarine blue, some alizarin crimson, there, and a touch of burnt sienna, there. It's quite a dark shadow, but it's got warmth because of the alizarin crimson. And what I'm doing now, plenty of water there actually. What I'm going to do to start with, we'll have some shadow in the far distance there, from trees that you can't see. And then shadow from this big one here. And across the road all the way to the other side. Up into the field. Big long shadow there. Soften it in there. Even a few gaps here and there as well. Now there's some shadow here as well. Just on the edge of that road there. This will cast a shadow. As will that. A little bit in here. And then a big broad stroke, plenty of water into this now. Big broad stroke into the foreground here. Have something out of shot that you can't see. Another tree, for instance. And across there. And now I'm just going to soften that a little bit there. That's better. A little bit of shadow just there. Cast by those bushes, just there. There's a little bit of shadow on that gate, on that side there. And that, my friends, is more or less that. All I need to do now is take the tape off. And there, finished painting. Quite autumnal actually, isn't it? You're right, Gail. Yeah. Quite autumnal, yes. We've got loads of books in watercolour. These are the two biggest sellers. The pocket book, which is full of tips and techniques and little projects. And that one, if it all goes wrong, Watercolour Rescue, that shows you how to put them right. And other watercolour books as well. Got lots of them. The paints that I'm using for this was Aquafine, Dale Rowney. Everything I use is Dale Rowney. But the Dale Rowney Aquafine, strictly speaking, students' quality paint. But as you can see, plenty of strength and life to those paints because they've actually got natural pigment in. And at £1.80 a tube, you can't go wrong with them. Dale Rowney Aquafine, fabulous stuff. The paper I've used is the Langton Rough, £140. As you can see, no wobbly bits to mess you about, even though you put lots of water on. And I never pre-stretch the paper. Just chop a sheet in half, because I use big demonstrator sheets. Chop a sheet in half, take it to the board, simple as that. And the brushes, again, Aquafine. I only use 4 brushes, as you know. Did you just put your finger in front of the lenses?
I did.
Did you just block me off? Did you cut off the gorgeousness?
I don't know how I did it, but yes.
Gosh. 1.5 inch flat, 3/4 inch flat, number 8 round, and I've used them all for this picture as well, and a number 4 rigger. That's it, Aquafine again, and I also use the same brushes. I caught that then. I also use the same brushes for my acrylics, so very sturdy, hard-wearing brushes, and you've seen how much water they hold as well. Everything that I use is on my website, on the e-shop, charlesevansart.com, so have a look on there. And I hope you enjoy having a go at this one. And it's been lovely to talk to you again. See you soon. Bye-bye.